Good evening. Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. I am actually near Quincy Shores. My thumbnail will be a picture of the sun setting. And what I wanted to share with you today is Dr. Masuru Emoto, The Hidden Messages in Water. I've talked repeatedly about how everything is energy. Einstein proved that even our thoughts are measurable energy. Everything is a measurable, calibratable energy. And as a result, the most important, let me just make up words now. Important thing we can learn is that since everything is energy, everything is either contributing to the system as a whole, which we would call positive energy, or taking from the system as a whole, which we would call negative energy. And in Dr. Masuru Emoto's book, he was a Japanese scientist who spent the last 30 plus years of his life showing the effects of words and thoughts and prayer on water. And, I had an engineer friend that I introduced this to over a decade ago. And it was funny because his only response was he couldn't find any other scientists who had corroborated this evidence, despite the fact that there were numerous scientists who joined Dr. Emoto in his work. Now that's somebody who's just not open. He's just not ready for this type of information, for this type of knowledge and wisdom, for what it means to how he lives his daily life, to what it means about how he thinks, his thought process, his process in doing things, his process in processing things. I know that sounds a little goofy. So, to tell you the beginning of this story, Emoto took faucet water, put it in 3 glasses, and the first glass obviously had nothing. That was a control group. Changed nothing to it. The second glass, he took a piece of paper and he wrote the word hate on the paper, H-A-T-E, hate, and wrapped it around the glass. And the third glass, he wrote the word love on a piece of paper, wrapped it around the glass. He then froze them all so that he could put them under a microscope. And the one with nothing on it looked the same as it did before it was frozen. The one with the word hate looked like the most diseased cancer cells you've ever seen under a microscope. And the one with the word love wrapped around it actually looked like the most beautiful snowflake under a microscope that you had ever seen. So, I don't know if you already know this, but if you hadn't heard this before, just consider that the science exists to prove that our words actually affect water. And since we're made up of what percentage of water? 70, 80, 85, 90% water? Every thought and every word actually affects your physiology. It actually does make sense why we would be bombarded with 95% negative stories on the news, because when you start to look a little deeper and you start to see some CIA declassified documents on energy, on simulations, and how energy affects things, and then of course that Einstein showed that our thought wave, W-A-V-E, never dissipates, okay? So it is very important that if you would like to create results in your life that you love, and you'd like to create relationship that you love, and you would like to create a life that you love, the most important ingredient is your thoughts. What you think, so you create. What you think, so you create. S-E-W, not S-O. So that's what I'll share with you today to ponder And I'll leave you with this. Look over my shoulder and look at how beautiful that sunset and that sky is. And at least we've got no chemtrails in the sky right now. So that's kind of cool. If you're still with me, I want you to know I really appreciate you, and you're always welcome back. I'll see you soon, and God bless.